Hey guys, just checking in. It's Wednesday night, and I ended up actually getting a load out to Reno, Nevada. So I'm in Carlin, Nevada right now, just spending the night, heading out in the morning, and I've got a 40-ton haul truck on the back that I'm bringing to Reno. So I'm like a few hours away from there, so I'll probably get back to Salt Lake City tomorrow night. So I wasn't too sure I wanted to do this video because I feel like I'm stabbing a hornet's nest, but I think it's important, so I'm going to say it. Obviously, Rush Limbaugh died today, and it's kind of, it's a hot topic. A lot of people are talking about it, and you're seeing a lot of people lionize him, but then you're also seeing a lot of people kind of dancing on his grave, and it's just a mirror image of Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying several months ago. You're just seeing the opposite thing happen. The conservatives were dancing on her grave back then, and the liberals were talking about how perfect she was, and you're just seeing the exact opposite. And any accusations that were made back then have been made irrelevant now because the liberals were talking about how horrible it was that conservatives would dare to laugh at someone who just died, and then the same thing's happening now, just the other way around. So there's no consistency. But I'll be honest, I was not a fan of Rush Limbaugh, and I wanted to talk about why I wasn't. So it goes beyond Rush Limbaugh. It's not just him. It's the divisive media machine. A lot of people who are glad that he died right now or whatever, or rejoicing over it. They're talking about how he was a fascist or a right-wing nut job or a racist. I never really thought any of those things about him. I just thought he was a partisan, and he was preaching a message that really just divided people. I thought of him as like a right-wing Rachel Maddow. And I would even listen to both of them. I would listen to Rush Limbaugh for a while, and then I'd turn it off, and I'd listen to Rachel Maddow. And it was very obvious why the country has so much hatred and why the people hate each other so much, because you listen to those guys. And, the guy who's very similar to Rush Limbaugh is Sean Hannity. He's still around. You listen to them, and it's all about the left is doing this, or the right is doing this, the Republicans are doing this, the Democrats are doing this, and it's just so partisan. There's no objectivity to it. Rush Limbaugh just praised George W. Bush and the Iraq War and how it was a good choice and everything. Well, Bush was in power, and then when Trump was in power, he was praising everything Trump was doing, even if it wasn't in line with what Bush had been doing. And then Rachel Maddow's the same way with Obama. She was criticizing Bush, but then when Obama came in, everything Obama did was perfect and great, and then everything Trump did was just horrible, horrible, horrible. So people should just stop listening to nothing but those types of people, because they don't give you a healthy perspective. All they do is make you think that the other half of the country is completely evil, when a lot of people who voted for Trump or a lot of people who voted for Biden, they might not even be Democrats or Republicans or right or left wingers. They might have just thought that, Trump was so bad that he had to go or something, so they voted for Biden. Or they were scared of Biden's policies, that they were going to hurt businesses, so they voted for Trump. They're not a bunch of, left-wing communists or a bunch of right-wing Nazis or whatever labels people want to throw at each other. And I just look at people like Limbaugh, like Rachel Maddow, like Sean Hannity. I really look at them as the enemy. I mean, they are doing the work of the state. The state wants us divided, hating each other instead of hating them. Because if we hate them together, then they're in trouble. But as long as we can be divided and keep blaming our liberal neighbor or our conservative mechanic or whatever for all the problems that are going on, and saying that, they they're evil, they hate Muslims, or they're evil, they hate Christians, or they hate, they're baby killers, or they're xenophobes, whatever. Like the divisive culture has to go, and we have to start realizing the bigger picture. So while they can convince us that there's this huge war going on, a few months ago that was going on between Trump and the Democrats, like that it was capitalism and freedom versus tyranny and communism or whatever. They can have us screaming at each other while they pass these giant omnibus bills and pat their own wallets and give all their money to their crony buddies and foreign countries and everything, and no one's uniting to take on that. They're screaming at each other over the culture war. And so we've got to get over the culture war, and I think the best way is to shut off Rachel Maddow or Sean Hannity. Like, I don't know, I bet most of the people who follow me probably don't watch them habitually anyways, but a lot of people do. And if you listen to Rachel Maddow for an hour and then you listen to Sean Hannity for an hour, you can see how someone will think that the other half is truly evil. Because if that's all you're taking in is Sean Hannity, and then you listen to Rachel Maddow for 5 minutes, you think she's completely nuts. And so you just keep building up these walls, confirming your suspicions that the other side of the country is evil and un-American. And same way, vice versa. If you do nothing but listen to Rachel Maddow and then you watch Sean Hannity for 5 minutes, you think he's the worst thing ever, when in reality they're both the worst thing ever. So that's all I really wanted to say. I think that the people who drive us apart are our enemies, and I didn't think that I didn't agree with a lot of the accusations against Rush Limbaugh. I really just look at him as a right-wing version of Rachel Maddow, and stop listening to people like that. I don't think it does this country any good. Try to be better than the right and the left getting into the culture war. Try to rise above them and show them what the actual issues are. But that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll check in tomorrow. I got Carrie Wedler coming on the show. I'll see you guys then. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves.